Hello everyone and welcome to Tailored Acres. I'm Taylor and I am a gardener in Wisconsin Zone 4B. And today I'm going to give you a full garden tour. So that's going to include first my cut flower garden, my landscaping, and then my vegetable garden. And I'll try to tag those sections in the video too if you're just interested in looking at one of them. So the first area here is the cut flower garden, and I've been using this landscape fabric that we burned holes in for weed suppression, and you can see what the weeds look like in between. So this is what this garden looks like. So there's 4 rows that I'll go through. So with all the flowers that are in this area and a couple in my vegetable garden as well, I've been making about 8 bouquets a week last year, which was my first year like really being into cut flowers. So just an idea for scale. So this area is dahlias, and I have, I believe, 20 different varieties of dahlias planted. So there's one of each, and these are single tubers that were planted. These I started in separate pots, these bigger ones here, and the plants got a lot bigger. That could have to do with them also showing growth when I pulled them out of storage. I'm not really sure. So the rest of these, some of them haven't even popped through yet, but they were all showing growth when they were planted. And these I planted, I believe, like May 31st. You want to wait until it's nice and warm. They won't survive a freeze. The greens anyway, the tubers will, as they're underground. So these all are seedlings that I started, and we won't know what the variety is. It'll be totally new. I'm super excited for those. I hope they do well here. And then there was 3 extra ones I had spots over here. So that's the first row. The second row here, I have a variety of stuff going on right at the edge here. So I have some Rudbeckia, and they kind of struggled. I had really poor germination on them, so we'll see how they do, if they do much of anything this year. Then I have these really spiky ones, are Crispidia, which are the like sunballs. Very excited for those. I thought I had oh, maybe it is this one here. This is a chocolate cosmos. So those make tubers as well, and we'll see how that goes this year with them. These are all straw flowers. And then we get into the zinnias, and I don't even know how many varieties I planted. They're all doing really well for the most part. Some of these I'm going to wait until they get just a little bit bigger, like a few more sets of leaves. I'm going to prune the top so that they start branching sooner, and then those cuttings I'm going to try rooting in my vegetable garden. So we'll see how that goes this year. So more of those. Then down here we have Feverfew, and this is Vertigo. I did not grow this one last year. I grew the Magic Singles, which are in my landscaping now because they did overwinter. They survived, which was really cool. These ones I believe are, I don't think I have a tag. These are pincushion flowers. Oh yeah, I see it over there. And some of these I did winter sowing, and some of them I started inside. And then the rest of this row is stock, which I've never grown before either. So I don't know, it's getting kind of warm and they haven't bloomed yet. So we'll see what we get out of those. And these are 2 dahlias that I'm growing in these pots. They are a smaller variety, so they don't really stand out or stand up well amongst the cut flower dahlias, which are all taller. So this one has a lot of little growth here. If you can even see that, it's hard to see. It's a darker foliage. This one, I just put this pot in my basement and it survived, which is about 60 degrees. And then this one, I treat it as I do the rest of mine. So it has more growth because I pulled that one out earlier. I wanted to show you guys this. I recognized these seedlings when they started emerging here in the walkway. These were all poppies that self-sowed. So I'm really excited to see what they look like. I'm not sure if they'll be true to form or not. So you can see I have quite a few here. Free plants, yay, volunteers. These are annual Sweet Williams. Again, it's getting kind of warmer out, so I'm not sure what we'll see out of those this year. It was kind of a learning curve. They didn't love being inside. I might have started them too early. I don't know. So lots of lessons to be learned on those this year. Hopefully they still bloom for me. Then we have our Lisianthus here. Got lots of weeds in that one. these are the ones I started from seed, which are still tiny. I think I have to start them way earlier, like December or January. They just grow so slow. That one's doing quite a bit better. So these three over here, I bought from a greenhouse, and you can see how much bigger those are. They're doing quite a bit better. Also a note here, there was a few that failed. So I actually had volunteers of the Magic Single Fever fruit from last year, seedlings around this area. So I just planted them in their own little spot. So I'll have some of those in here this year as well. And then we go down here into our snapdragons. So we had some pretty big hail damage. So these kind of look goofy, and that's why. They had leaf damage, they have stalk damage, but I don't think it will make that much of a difference to them. But I am also going to, probably half of these, I'm going to prune the top of and try to start those prune tops in the vegetable garden as well. I have a little bit of space in there. So we'll see how that goes. And that just promotes branching sooner. You can see how big some of these stalks are already, and they'll just get bigger. So the side shoots will be a little smaller then. All right. Oh, before I forget to, along here, if you can even see them through the weeds, I have planted, no, that is a weed, sweet peas in here. So these are for flowers, and they were seed saved last year. So those are all along here. Those did really well here for me last year. So we'll see how they do this year. Also here, I did get some beneficial insects. So these, I believe, were predatory mites. There we go. Sorry about that. So these just came in little satchels, and they're all around the garden to help with my thrip problem that I had last year. So we are going to move down here then. And the last thing I have in this row is cosmos. So some of these seedlings had two coming up, and I'm just going to grow them and see what happens. Cosmos don't care about soil quality or any of that, so we'll see if the double ones suffer because they're planted together. So here you can see another feverfew. It apparently is a prolific reseeder. So many of them. And a few of these are starting to bloom. I should also like clip these two so that they start branching and don't get gigantic stems. So that's those. I love cosmos. They're just the most elegant little flower. I do also have some chocolate cosmos in here as well. All right, so we're on our last little row here in the cut flower area. So I have a variety of stuff planted in here. So these are sage, and it's just common sage. I was hoping I could use this as filler. We'll see how they do. I've never grown that before. I have one Belle of Ireland that survived, or actually germinated winter sowing out of the whole packet. I've tried the last few years, just really haven't had luck with that. I don't know what this is. Oh, just a, okay. Then we have some Dusty Miller here, which isn't real happy here. I have some planted out in my landscaping that is a lot bigger. So we'll see how those do here. This is a little bit of a shady area. Then we have some bachelor buttons, and some of these were also self-sown. So that's kind of fun. I mean, what an easier way to start plants than just have them popping up and then transplant them to where you want them. And then the rest of these are asters, and most of them are Salmonjana asters, which are my absolute favorite. They're gorgeous. They last forever in the vase. The plants, though, are usually kind of scraggly and die off quickly, so they have a very limited life. So next we're going to go into the landscaping. There was just a hummingbird here. I missed them. So this area has two issues. One, it needs to be weeded badly, and two, it has a rabbit resident that the dog has been after. So some of the plants are getting trampled, which is whatever, I guess. Neither here nor there. So in here, this is Hakanakaloa. And I split this one. So there's one here, and then there's one all the way down there. And then there's a different variety right there that the rabbit has been eating, unfortunately. And then I also have, I believe this is Paradise Supertunia Vista in here. So these will all get a lot bigger. I do also have some of these heuchera that I split last year that are kind of small that I think I might plant those in front along here too. So behind that, I have Italian Ice Oh So Easy roses. And I saw this morning that there is one bloom. I am so excited. These were absolutely gorgeous last year. The leaves are so shiny and beautiful. I love this plant. So that will be a nice little hedge in the back here along this area. So then we have an azalea bush that was here when we moved in. And this is a ground cover sedum here, or stone crop. I'm not sure where it's going to go. It's not going to stay there though. And hopefully this area will look a little more even in the future. And now the sun came out, so it's going to be a little bit harder to see things here for a minute. So then over here, this is also new that I did this spring. So these were here last year. These are columbine. And I got I believe it's a carex type grass that's supposed to be hardy here. And it's a little bit hard to see. I took one and I split it into 4. So it's a little scraggly right now, which you'll find is my greatest joy, is to buy one plant and split it right away. So this has a little bit of variegation on it. I believe it was like Everest. Probably have the tag on one of these. Maybe not. So that one's a fun grass. And it should stay smaller. So that's planted in between all the columbine here. Then we just have irises in the back here. And then down here, we have ajuga, hens and chicks. And this is the Chick Charms variety. Here, this is the Killer. And they're so cute. I love these so much. And then I have more of that. Well, of hens and chicks on that side. This is more sedum or stone crop. 2 different varieties here. And then these are all mini iris that I need to divide probably this year. They are prolific in this spot. They bloom early spring, but only for a few days. Extra plants that I'm trying to give away here. All right, so whoops, let's get a view of everything here first. So this is that area. So in front here, I believe it's a dragon's breath. I don't remember. And this was here when we came, so I'm not real sure, but it seems like the most likely variety. And then we have some creeping phlox here, hens and chicks here, and more of the creeping phlox, which the dog has been destroying, unfortunately. But that's just the way it goes. Nothing's ever perfect gardening, that's for sure. So then these are the gay feathers, or Beatrice, maybe. So these get purple spikes, and those were all I took from around our yard. So those are all along there. If you can see, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and then there's one on the other side of the tree as well. So then also in this front area, I have some, I think they're like a New Guinea impatient or a sun patient. Here's one that's blooming. So these will stay a little bit smaller, but they're just like really pretty white with a little bit of pink in them. I also planted some geraniums that I started from seed in the front. So those are all along here. And then I have a ombre of pink to purple, or I should say purple to white, back to purple super petunias. So we got a purple one. I believe this is Jazzberry, Paradise, Bubblegum. I can't remember what that one was called. But that one's a white one with a little bit of pink in it there. And then we're going to go back to Bubblegum, Paradise, Jazzberry, and the purple there. So those will obviously get a lot bigger and fill in this area really nicely. So that is the front area of our house. The next area I'm going to show you is our secret garden. And this is something that we started this year. And my older son and I, this is kind of our secret project, I guess. So this is in the woods in the front of our house. And you can see we just mowed into here. And the previous owner has planted this vinca vine that has obviously taken over this area. So we are going to just be planting into that because it's great ground cover. There's not many weeds, which makes things easier. So then here in this center area here, in this big area here, we have repeating of hellebores. Whoops, sorry, wrong way. Hellebores, pulmonaria, and brunnera. So those I planted earlier this year. I do also have some kind of a Japanese fern here, and there's one over here. They're kind of getting taken over by the vinca, and they're not very big. So I don't know how those are going to do here. I'm hoping this area is low maintenance because we got a lot going on here already. So I'll show you the rest of the plants that we have in here. So if we turn the corner here a little bit, I am going to be planting this, what is this called? I totally forgot. It's a bottle rocket Ligularia. That's what it is. So that's what it will look like. These are like really big, cool leaves. So that's going here. But as I was planting this yesterday, a storm blew in. Sorry, there's a truck going by. A storm blew in, and it was not safe to be outside anymore. So I still need to get that done. But it's just a really nice area. And then we have this little trellis here, arch, which was a perfect fit for this. I think I might get some kind of like flowering clematis maybe, that like shade here. We'll see what we find and what we decide on that. All right, so then we go to the end here. Okay, so sorry about that camera work. Trying to get my gimbal to work. It's a process. So we have another hellebore here and another pulmonaria. So I have a bunch of different varieties of this, and then I have some in my other landscaping I'll show you later. So I am really addicted to these. They have the coolest flowers and such cool leaves. So then we'll go around the corner here. All right, so that's back out there. Let's see, what do we got here? This way. Oh my gosh. So we're still in that center area. So I have another hellebore here, and then over here we have this really cool pulmonaria. It has gigantic leaves, and then one little flower so far. So I believe this one was shrimp on the Barbie. I don't see the tag. So that one was really cool. It might be raspberry splash too. I gotta make myself a list so I remember all of them that I have. Then we've got this little cat statue in here too. But then this is the Semafuga. So this one was from one of my friends. I'm excited to see what that does in here. It's really happy so far. All right, so we're back under the trellis on our way out here. This is probably the main exit for the secret garden, although there's a couple other paths that go through here. And we have this really pretty crimson maple, I believe they're called, on the edge here. And then we're gonna be making our way over here to the median garden, which I still need to finish the stone along the backside, but I ran out. So unfortunately, and I've been struggling with soapwort in this area here. So I think we'll start with this area over here. Whoops. And then I'll go in the middle. Okay, so this is the median garden, and the whole idea here was to have a nice green lane that kind of beckons you down it to check out everything that is planted along here. So this is a lot of pinks, purples, and whites so far. There is a little bit of an orangey yellow back there, which I really like that with this color palette, so I think we're gonna keep that. So if we go this way here, this first guy here, so that this is where the soapwort is, and so it's just kind of a goofy area right now, but this is Jacob's Ladder that's variegated. Here's some blooms that they're just about done, but it's in such a nice little ground cover in here. And we'll go along here. So in here, there's like a front clump, and it repeats 3 times. There's a middle clump, and then there's a back clump here, and some stuff in the middle. So we'll start here with the very front. So we have a Serendipity allium here. So this will get nice purple blooms. We have lamb's ear, pansies or violas. I'm not sure which one I ended up with there that came from my spring planters. We have some Stocky's Humalo. And then this is that Feverfew that overwintered for my cut flowers. So this is the Magic Single. And these are actually getting ready to bloom here, which I'm really excited about. This is one of my favorite flowers because it looks like a daisy, but it's not. And they're tiny little guys. They make great filler for bouquets. This one is a salvia back here. And then behind that, we have some lupin that I winter sowed a few years ago, and then I just transplanted them out here. Behind that, I have pearl yarrow, which are, let's see if I can get over there. These are tiny little guys still. We have some bachelor buttons that I seeded out here just to see how they did. All right, let me back up. We have some pink anemone that I got from a friend. So those are bigger roots. So those are a perennial. I did plant some of the Fama, either white or blue pincushion flowers here. These are blue fescue grass that I started inside last year, and they're huge now. It's really exciting. So that was, it was like $2 for the seed, and I got a ton of plants out of that. I did also plant one of these guys in here, the geraniums. We'll see how I like that. It seemed like it would be a cool idea to have flowers coming out of here. So once those bloom, I guess we'll find out if we like it or not. All right. So then in here, and I interplanted a ton of stuff, so I might miss some stuff, so we might see some stuff later that I totally forgot I did. So back in here, then we have iris. This is an ivory halo dogwood. They're supposed to stay smaller, but it's variegated. I looked for these so hard last year and I didn't find any. So I finally found them this spring and I was so excited. So excited. I just love variegated things, and these are so cute. Love them so much. So we also have a lot of foliage from the daffodils and from the hyacinths that are not looking so great, but that's just kind of the nature of having those. You need to let them recharge. We have a silver mound, and then these are candy tuft, and they're kind of going out of bloom now. They were really cute all spring. They are a perennial, so I don't know if they'll rebloom or not. I might deadhead them just to help them out a little bit. And then we have a white anemone, and these are, I don't know if these are by seed or by root that they will come back as, but that one obviously is just about done. So that one is there. We have a heuchera here. I don't know what the variety is of this one, but it almost has like a maple leaf on it. I love heuchera, which are corbels. You'll see a lot of those in my garden. They are so cool, and they're kind of evergreen here too. And then we go back into here. So these are all Veronica Speedwell, those 4. So this one hasn't bloomed yet. These are all new, so they're probably ahead of the schedule from the greenhouses. But those add so much color right now, and I'm not sure how long or if they keep reblooming. We'll find out soon. Oh, yep, almost forgot this guy back here. This is a Japanese silvergrass, I believe. I had one of them not come back, so that one had to go back to the store, and I just divided one of my other ones. So they're kind of looking a little scraggly so far. I'm hoping they add some or keep growing bigger like they were last year. They were huge, so we'll see how those go. But it is still pretty early in the year here. So I think we're almost to the last part of the repeated part in the front here. So then this was a wave petunia I got, and I just really liked the darker pink veining on that. The plants kind of look a little scraggly right now, but we've been getting so much rain, so it could be from that. All right. Oh, yep. There is a couple more things actually back here. It's kind of hard to see them right now because they're so small. So the rabbits have been also decimating these. These are purple dome aster. Gorgeous plants. Hopefully they can survive. I also started from seed some anise hyssop here. So hopefully those do well. We have a, ooh, gotta think about that one. Penstemon, there we go. Here that we planted, it looks like we got a oak tree growing. And then we have some Baptisia that I got from a friend, and I divided it into 3 clumps. So this one is small, but I have 3 of them in the garden for the repeated sections. I did plant some zinnias back here to see how they do too. And then I do also have way over here, there is Russian sage there. And that took so long to come up. I thought they were all dead. So I'm glad to see that they did come back. All right, I think that's it for that repeating section. This is a dappled willow. Oh my gosh, this is definitely the star of the show. How beautiful is that to go variegated to a light pink? And then also the leaves here are variegated. Probably my favorite plant that I have here. I do plan to keep this smaller, so I will be pruning it in the winter to keep it smaller because these can like grow into a tree. They're crazy. Oh shoot, I do have more of the repeat. I told you I have a lot of flowers. I don't even hardly remember what I did. So this is the grouping of tall phlox. So there's a, I believe a light pink one from my mom. There is, this is white that I planted here last year. And then there is a blue one, that I planted here. And I split that into 3 that I had from last, or 2 years ago maybe. And planted that out too. So that one isn't doing super well. I didn't divide it very evenly. So, oh, I do also have paper daisies there and probably 100 other things that I forgot to tell you about. Okay, so I'm going to start on the back side now and then we'll work our way around. So in here we have Autumn Joy Sedum planted, 4 of them I think, yeah. This is the Carl's Forster grass that gets like the white or creamy color blooms on it. And that one I divided in half this spring. I love that one. I don't know. It's just really a nice plant. And then we also have, I think this one is also a willow. Let me check its name. Oh, a dwarf willow Nana. So this one is, I don't know, just the texture of it is so cool. I absolutely love this one too. I just had to have it. I don't know if it matches super well in here, but we're running with it. So then in this, oh yes, then I also have Summerberry yarrows planted in a line here as well. So it goes all the way from there to back over here. And then there is also a little stand of hollyhocks in here, which looks like they are finally putting on some growth. And then we have delphiniums planted here. So the rabbits are just decimating these guys as well. So I don't know if we'll get blooms this year. Oh, actually, that one is starting to bloom right there. All right, and then I have foxglove that I started from seed here, which is a biennial. So I'm not sure if it'll bloom this year or not, but usually when those bloom, then they don't come back. So I'll probably have to continually do that if I want foxglove in this area, which I do because it's gorgeous. Oh yes, more things planted over here. So these were Sweet Williams that I did winter sowing for, and those I believe are biennial, so we won't see blooms likely on them this year. And if I remember they're even there, I won't weed them out. All right, so then in this area here, we have I think 33 dahlias planted. So it looks like a mess right now. It might always look like a mess, I guess. I don't know, we'll find out. So there's 33 dahlia tubers planted in here, so it should be a wall of flowers at some point here. And then in these cages here, I have planted, some cuttings that I took of my limelight hydrangea that's on the end. So these all came back, which is really cool because that saves you a lot of money, but make sure that the plant isn't patented before you do that. And then we have Royal Raindrops crab apples here. There's 2 of them. You can see the other one there. And those were gorgeous when they were in bloom this year. And they're just a really cool foliage color, and they had a really nice fall color as well. So then back on this line, it's still a work in progress. Well, this whole area is still a work in progress. But I have Walker's Low catmint planted, and I had 3 plants and I divided it into like 12, I think. So those all rebounded beautifully. These actually made really good cut flower fillers, and they smell really nice too. So this Walker's Low variety though usually flops. So I don't know if I'll keep it here or not. We'll see how it does. So you can see some more of the dahlias here. Pushing growth. So those will be cool to see how they do out here. All right, so then if we continue on here, some more of the Baptisia there. And then, so this was the original landscaped area in here that I did last year, and then I expanded the rest of it last fall. So all of it's really new, but this area is a little bit older. So some of the stuff doesn't make sense in here with the repeating, but that's okay. We're still working on it. So this is yucca, and I really like yucca. It does send out big roots, but it gets the coolest flowers, and it's like an evergreen type deal. So I'm probably going to move these around in this area to keep them. I do also, let me see, I'm sure I can find some, yes, some soapwort. Oh, I think it's got a bug on it. In this area as well that's invasive. Oh, it's just so frustrating. I'm sure you all have something that, and there's some more that you're fighting like that too. So this is Lamium, which is gorgeous, and I want to move that a little bit here as well because it's kind of into my repeating areas. This is Coreopsis that came back. I had some issues getting Coreopsis to come back, so I'm glad to see that this one is back. And the color really does go well here, so I'm going to be keeping that one. This is another perennial Coreopsis that was a yellow flower as well, and that one is just really cool. Kind of looks like a bush now, so we'll have to spread that one around a little bit as well. And then what else do we have over here? So we have this variegated iris that I got last year. Oh, I just love it so much that I'm actually going to move into the garage garden, which will I'll show you in a little bit. So then in here we have well, maybe it is coneflower. I can't remember if it's coneflower or Rebecca now. I guess we'll see what comes back. They were both planted in here, but they are getting flowers now. I've never successfully grown either of those because the rabbits usually mow them down. So really excited. I'm actually going to get flowers out of those. Oh, there's another little Baptisia. These are just the cutest flowers. I love them so much. I'm so happy to have so many in my garden now. And then this is the original limelight hydrangea that I took my cuttings off of last year. So those are getting mowed down by deer or rabbits, so likely not to have blooms this year, which is great. All right, so then there's a couple extra plants in here that I haven't mentioned yet that aren't part of the repeating pattern. I'll give you a little view of everything here. So everything is really low and short right now, which I am hoping some of these are going to get a little taller because it's all like one level and in low right now, which isn't quite what I'm going for. I really want this area to be like a gradual step up. So we'll see how that develops, but obviously I love gardening, so I'm happy to move things around. And I love giving plants away too, and then getting plants from my friends as well. So this is the Cat's Pajamas catmint here. This one is the one that I meant to buy when I got all my other ones, the Walker's Low. So these stay compact plants. So I bought one just so I can start propagating it and or dividing it and getting more of those. So yeah, I'm excited to have that in my garden. And then if we, oh my gosh, sorry. We'll get this figured out eventually. All right, so then this one is back to the fuchsia salvia, and I just think it's such a funny name. So I had a spot there for it and pop that one in there. And then I have one more down here, which is the Boom Chocolata Hardy Geranium. So that one's got really cool flowers, cool foliage. I'm happy to add that one as well. So that, I think, is all the plants in there. I probably missed like 20 different things. Just been popping things in there as I see fit. It's probably gonna be real overcrowded come July, but it's just fun. Fun to see this area come to life. So this is the, what I call like the driveway garden. It's part of the median garden that we just talked about, which is behind me. So in here, I have this willow, that's a sage leaf willow. It's really pretty. I thought it was going to die, so I'm really excited that that came back. And then we also have some heucheras in here. I believe this is like black pearl or something like that. These are actually heucherellas. So we did a little repeating pattern of those. We have some gorgeous peonies in here, which most of them I have cut and taken inside, but they're just so dreamy. Peonies are such a cool thing. I am actually going to try to cold dry store some of these so that I can have blooms longer. But oh my gosh, look at this one. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so then as we work our way around here, and this area I added this part last year. So the front of this is a little more well established. So we have some, I believe they're Siberian irises here. And then on this side as well, which are not blooming yet. I have a miniature dahlia here, which is so cute. This will be like the 4th year with it. I probably should divide it soon, just so it doesn't get too overgrown with tubers. And I've just been storing that in my basement. Just dig it up and pop it in a pot. And then we have some bubblegum Super Tunia Vista in there. So that's what that area looks like. There are some iris in here. There were some tulips as well. And then we have some Spanish moss in here that I moved there. It's much happier here instead of in the blazing sun like it was. So that's that area and a little view of that landscaping. And here are what my porch pots look like so far. I've got some extra plants around here and it needs to get swept, but they're really looking good so far. Pretty happy with the color combos and how everything is doing. This area here is kind of our rock garden, but I also have some milkweed that's growing in here that I'll just leave for the monarchs. I think this is a sand cherry, and then this one I can't ever remember what it's called, but it's such a cool flower. It's probably a weed, but I like it, so it gets to stay. So that's what the blooms look like. But it's such a weird looking plant, so so that's what that is. And then that's that sedum already. There are some bleeding hearts in here that I think I'm going to move to the secret garden. All right, so then we are on to the garage garden, I think is what I've been calling this one. So this one I established last year. And the idea of this one was it was going to be all pinks and variegated plants. So in here we have the heuchera. So those are all repeated. And I think there's 2 different varieties in here because some of them didn't make it, but I'm going to have to reassess that. But those are pretty easy to divide as well. We have some columbine in here. There's more milkweed. There is a baptisia back here too that is starting to bloom. Oh, I just love them. I don't know why. They're so gorgeous to me. They actually make good cut flowers too, and I'm excited to be able to do that when they get a little bit bigger. Got some iris. Then there's some variegated stone crop in there. This is Miss America hosta. Then we have some sedum that I just took from my great grandma's house. So I don't know what it looks like even. It's pretty small so far. pretty cool. Then we have a variegated obedient plant, which I was really excited to add here. I've never grown that before either. There is a ruby invincible hydrangea behind that. Then I have foxglove that I started from seed. This is a tiny wine 9-bark, so it's going to stay smaller. And wow, look at those blooms. They're so pretty. I didn't even think about that when I was adding this plant. I just wanted something that was a little bit darker foliage. We have some variegated tall phlox there. And then this is pink salvia. That is very vibrant. Oh yes, there's also some, I believe this is prickly pear cactus. I could be totally wrong. It was here when we got it, but I think those are blooms. Maybe they're not. We'll find out. I'm really excited though. There was a ton of it back here, so I just have 4 spots of it now. It's getting really windy. This is a perennial mum that I got from a friend. That one is really cool. It was like a peachy flower. I'm definitely going to be spreading that around my gardens. I loved it so much. We have another variegated stonecrop there. I did plant some zinnias back here. This is Princess de Monaco rose, and I transplanted it here this spring, and it's doing great. It's got some buds on it. Very excited about that one. Some more iris, another hosta, and another columbine, and that is some mini dahlia, or mini iris again. So that area was a little bit easier than the last one. Wow, sorry. I really like this area. I am going to remove some of the sedum and put it along the way out, the median garden over here, so that every area kind of has that sedum in front of it. I think it'll look cool. Next we have the blueberry bushes, which you can see those little white flowers. Those will all be fruit soon. And this is my peach tree, which has been putting on extreme growth again this year. Looks super healthy. It did not bloom. I think I am going to have to do another really hard shaping prune this year, because the branches are pretty vertical for the most part, which is not what we're going for on the peach. So that will be some more work this winter. And over here by what we're calling our greenhouse is rhubarb, which I've cut pretty heavily here. I usually cut about half of it, so I probably won't cut any more. Maybe a few here or there. I'm actually making jelly right now. Then if we scroll over here, so this is what I'm calling my lily garden. So there are a ton of different lilies in here. A lot of them I got from one of my mom's friends, which I appreciate so much. It's so cool to share plants. Like, it is just, I just love doing that. All right, so let's get over here. We'll start on this side. So we have some more of that lime heuchera here that I'm probably going to move up front. Oh my gosh, those little bunnies. Gosh, look at this. Just right off. And these were all, you probably saw these in a couple areas now. They were all grape hyacinths. And I just love the color on those. I think these are actually seed pods, so they probably could spread that way. I probably should deadhead them so I don't have them everywhere. So then we have some more Pulmonaria brunnera back here. That's another Pulmonaria. That one is suffering, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Another brunnera. And then these are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hellebores that I have. Oh, I just love them so much. I think these might end up out in the secret garden as well. All right, what else do we got here? We have panicle hydrangea, which I think I forgot to talk about in the front. Those were here when I came. I have no idea what variety they are. Maybe Pinky Winky, but they are a lace cap variety. And the bees and pollinators just go nuts over them. So they're such a cool one to have. I did a super hard prune on this to shape it, and it looks great. So don't be afraid to take after these guys, those panicle hydrangeas. So we have a darker colored sedum here, more heuchera, And in this area, I want it to be like all different varieties of heuchera. So I have some in front that I need to plant, but that's on the to-do list. That's very long. This down here is mint chip ajuga. So they have these really pretty purple flowers that are kind of going out now, but that's been a really nice little ground cover there. I have a white gay feather there, and then we start into the lilies. There's iris. So most of these are daylilies, and then there are some other ones, and I don't know all of them. Some of them actually were here too. So I also have planted, so there's like, I think this one was a tiger lily. There's Asiatic lilies, there's oriental lilies. This should just be a riot of color. I have a couple more dahlias that I think I'm actually going to plant over here too. So then I also started a bunch of daisies from seed. So those are interplanted in here too. It's not all weeds that you see that are green spread out. So these lilies, they're Asiatic lilies, and oh, yep, I see some right now. Those mother truckers. Those are just gonna eat them all. They're horrible. The red lily beetles. Just been losing the battle with them, which is, you know, just add it to the list of hardships in gardening. So up here again too, we have a bunch more lilies. And I'm looking for something big here, like maybe a shrub. I don't know. If you have any recommendations, let me know. It's full shade. This is the south or north side of our house, so it makes it a little tough. We have some variegated Solomon seal, which I got from a friend. Oh my gosh, I just love it so much. It's such a cool little plant. And then lots of weeds back there. Haven't made it back there yet. Have a Empress Wu hosta there. And then we have some more heuchera over here as well. And then if I pop down here, this is the cool thing. So that's our dining room right there. And you can see, this is what our view is. How cool is that? We had our builder build this in when we did our remodel downstairs. So this Creeping Jenny, I actually overwintered. I just snipped it real short, and it's popping back. So I'm just kind of going to train it to go flow over the front again this year. So this is the last of the landscaping, and this area is kind of a holdover for now. I started some Heliopsis from seed, so they're like one right here. I don't know how they'll do back here. I mean, it's just pure sand. This is hardy hibiscus, midnight Monet? No, Marvel. There we go. This is gorgeous. But the red, so it's a red flower and it doesn't match anything else. I have no red. So it's just going to hang out back here. I've been thinking about doing a tropical garden around the peach tree. Let me know what you think about that. I think it'd be pretty cool. So then this is a red hollyhock that was really pretty. And then this is just a piece of my azalea that I took off of the other one because it was just so unruly, and it's doing okay back here. So yeah, so that's the rest of the landscaping, and we'll head to the vegetable garden next. So this is my vegetable garden. So we have the landscape fabric back here too, and then we also have the cattle panel arches, which have been so nice. You can grow so many things on those. You could even do tomatoes. We mostly do pumpkins and beans, so whole beans, that is. So yeah, that's the overview of this area. All right, so we'll go row by row in this area here. So this is mostly tomatoes and herbs. So I love these. They're Colossus red marigolds. They don't look like much now, but later in the summer, they are just like a bush of flowers. I love them so much. I started those from seed. We have some cilantro that's self-seeded, so I just potted those up in here. I have 4 tomatoes. I have Better Boy, or Big Boy, Wisconsin 55, Beefsteak, and either Sun Gold or Sun Sugar. I can never remember which one it is. And over here, and I usually don't grow tomatoes because I struggle with them. You wait so long and then they split and the leaves look gross and just, yeah, it's not my favorite. vegetable to grow. So we have basil down here that I seeded. Need to get a lot of this weeded. You'll see lots of weeds here. I believe this was more basil as well. And then I can't remember if there was anything in these two. This rosemary was one that I just planted the seed last summer into this hole and just hope for the best, and it worked. But then it was still a really small plant in the winter, so I decided to try to overwinter inside. And although it looks pretty scraggly, like it's putting on new growth, so it worked. And then this is a bush cucumber here, so that should just be, it's a Space Master 55 or something, I don't know, something like that. So that one should just be a bush. So I haven't grown this type before. I'm excited about that. Then we have some sage also back here. All right, then if we go back to this cattle panel here, so this is along this edge, excuse me. So we have a marigold here, and then these are all pole beans that I seed saved. So they originally came from the Blue Lake pole bean variety, but they are all looking really good. And then the peas are in here too. And the peas don't mind shade. So as stuff grows up and it gets shaded, they aren't going to care. And then back here we have the Seascape strawberries that they're starting to make strawberries. Looks like we got a little runner here. Could have a free plant. I do have all of my, I think it's the National Pickling Cucumber. They're planted at the back of the trellises here. There's 4 of those. And then we have strawberries, and look at that. I mean, like, we are in full strawberry mode already. It's crazy. So this area I thinned heavily last year, and it really needed it. So I'll scroll over here. That's what it looked like before. So I didn't get to that side, but I just wanted to kind of do a comparison and see. And then I do have more seascapes planted in the middle here. I have my bird netting on because the birds just, they don't care. I tried the rock thing. They literally don't care. They will eat them anyway. So that's what I do to protect mine. All right. So then in this row here, we have all kinds of different squash planted. Oh, yep, there's some. Just coming up. So I just did these by seed. I usually do transplants, but I just kind of got burnt out on starting seeds inside this year, so that kind of fell off. But they're doing just fine. Direct sowed here. All right, and then this whole row is peppers. I love growing peppers. Red peppers, because they're so expensive in the store. What I do is when they're ripe, I slice them up and I freeze them. And then when you have them for a recipe, you can just pull it out and dump it in. Super easy. So there are some pepperoncinis back here, and then the rest of these are red peppers. And then I do have one jalapeno pepper, which is the happiest one of the lot. So that's what that area looks like. All right, so then we're on to this row here, which needs to get weeded badly. So just imagine, like, this is what my whole garden would look like, and I just don't have time to weed this much. So what I did last year, which worked, is I let the weeds get a little like size on them so that they're easier to pick. So like now I should be probably trying to get in here, and then I just do my grass clippings on top because we don't put anything on our grass, so it's totally organic and a great material to break down and be part of your soil. So in this first part, you can see here we got carrots planted. So when I weed, obviously I'll also, or not obviously, maybe I'll also thin these to the recommended spacing. I found that that is essential to get the proper size carrots, or like once they start bumping into each other, they just don't grow well. So that's that whole first area. Then we have leeks here, which I've never grown before. I'm excited about that. I'm also just going to dice those up and freeze them for recipes. Then we have shallots here, which the shallots do not look any different than the onions. Then we have Walla Walla onions here, a lot of them. I'm going to do the same thing, dice them and freeze them. And then these in the back here, which really can't tell the differences much anymore are ones that I got from the garden center that were just like little starts. So they were kind of like, I don't know what, maybe they're called starts, just like the little onion starts. So they were like started to grow, and then they pulled them all out and wrapped them all together. They weren't in dirt or anything. All right, so then along this one we have more pumpkins. Let me step over here. And then look at this monster garlic this year. I mean, it's insane. So I just noticed the scapes are just starting, which is one of my favorite parts about growing garlic. Oh yeah, here's one. So I wait until they get a curl in them. These will curl over, and then I'll pick those. And you can eat them just like sauteed. Oh, they're so good. Or you can use them to make garlic scape pesto, which is really delicious. And you can also make that and freeze it, which I have done as well. So then we go over here. We have little cucamelons, which are like miniature cucumbers that look like watermelon, and they have a very lemony taste. They're such a good garden treat. And then we have watermelon. So I have Alibaba, which was a friend's recommendation, and Sugar Baby. So I've never grown watermelon before. I'm actually not sure if they can cross-pollinate. I should probably look that up. But I should really be growing 2 varieties. So they'll do the trellis on those. I've always been nervous to do watermelon because I don't want it to grow all year and then rain too much and split. That would just be so devastating. So I guess we'll see how it goes. And then we have more squash in the back. Oh yeah, also honeydew. Okay, so then in here we have the celery. Wow, I've said so many names now. I'm surprised I'm still able to talk. So we have celery, which I've never grown before either. I don't know what that's going to be like. We'll find out, live and learn on that one. And then I have some spaces for the zinnias that I'm going to try to root the cuttings on. And then we have the Floret Precious Metals zinnias here, and they all look really healthy so far. And then I have in front here are my zucchinis. Gotta have zucchinis, right? So that's that row. Maybe I'll do the pots next because there's just a couple of things in here. So I've been really struggling with these mother truckers as well. They are just decimating it. I've been coming out here and hand picking them off. Gotta do it again. So potatoes in pots, and I did a separate video on that. They are looking really happy and healthy besides the bugs. So I have 2 over here and 2 over there. And then we have ground cherries in those 3. This one is another Space Master cucumber. I wanted to try growing that in a pot to see how it did, and it actually looks happier so far. And then we have a turnip that my son planted at school. At least he said it was a turnip. We'll find out. So then down in this row, we have more cut flowers. So here's one of those marigolds. Gorgeous. I don't know why I love that so much. So then we have, these are all celosia. So there's quite a few different varieties. Flamingo feather is one of my favorites. And then I think this is a kale, maybe. I planted all my brassicas in here, and the vole ate them all. So yeah, very devastated about that. And until I get that figured out, I'm not going to plant more. And then we also have Gomphrena in here, which are cute little flowers. And then I have nothing in here, which I need to, some of my snaps I think I'll put over here. Then we have some Rudbeckia that has overwintered the last few years in here, and the rabbits love them, so that's why I had to move them over here. Okay, so we just have the orchard to go. But I'll swing back around here and give you guys a view of the garden from this way. Look at that garlic. Garlic is my favorite thing to grow. I don't know if you picked up on that. It's so fun. All right. So if we swing around here, this is my asparagus patch. And I did have asparagus beetles this year, so we're figuring out the fight on those, but they are looking really nice and healthy here now. all leafed out. We have, and this area needs to get weeded badly. So we have these like all kind of came up from roots. This was all cleared out when we put this in 2 years ago, last year. So I think they're all wild blackberries, but they're totally in bloom. So I don't know, maybe we'll get some blackberries back here this year. All right, so these are all dwarf apple trees, and there 3 of them are Honeycrisp, and that one is a Harrelson. And the Harrelson, we did have an apple last year, and I don't know if it's going to have any this year. The other 3 still didn't bloom this year. I don't know if that's a problem or not. Keep meaning to look into that. All right, we're almost done. Some more cut flowers, of course. So here's where I planted the ranunculus, and some of them are kind of going out. But look at how beautiful these flowers are. I need to get out here and cut them. I'm actually just ordering more of these corms so that I can plant even more for next year. Because not many flowers are in bloom right now for cut flowers, so they're a good addition. All right, now I have an experiment going with the Pro Cut sunflowers. I am at 2-inch spacing. So I'm hoping that they'll be tiny little flowers, because big sunflowers and arrangements is hard to deal with. So I'm going to be planting more of those this week. So I have a succession of sunflowers. So this whole area here will be dedicated to sunflowers. And then here I have some more Dusty Millers. So you can see that this stuff is a lot happier back here, a little bit bigger than the other stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I've never grown that before either. And then we have a bunch of Statice, which is all looking pretty good. The voles, we're munching on these as well, but have seemed to let them start to grow now, luckily. All right, and then we have some wheat here, which is a black-tipped wheat. It's pretty far along already. I was going to direct sow some more just to see. I don't know. That was supposed to be for fall foliage in cut flowers. And then I direct sowed quite a few things here that like nothing came up. So I'm not really sure why. Blue Plurum I had no luck with. Where's the cress? I'm not seeing it. Oh, up here. So this is one cress that came up. So that one was successful at least. I should probably try to direct sow some more, but some of these are cooler flowers and like they should have been up already. And then in this area, I have my ornamental kale, and the voles ate them all. You can see there's the holes there. One there, one there. It's just so frustrating, but it is what it is. We're out in nature. So then these are basil. It's Mrs. Burns Lemon and cinnamon basil for cut flower foliage. So I've never done that before either, and I'm really excited to see how that goes. Thanks for joining today. It just started raining, so a good time to end. That was a long one, so if you're still with me, thanks for watching, and I hope your garden is looking beautiful this year.